Hello everyone, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and in this video, I'm going to check my garden for slugs and other creepy crawlies of the night. I'm going to talk to you about what our next Jumanji event might be. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a meme going around saying that we're in a game of Jumanji, and we need to guess what each new event is going to be. My bet, Tunguska event. Some of you know what that is, and if you don't, well, here I am to explain it to you. The Tunguska event was an explosion that happened in a remote region of Russia in 1908. June 30th, actually, so it's approaching the anniversary of it. So, obviously, we don't have much record of exactly what happened, but we do know that a very large explosion happened in the air over a remote region, and it leveled somewhere around 2,000 square kilometers of forest, flattening millions of trees. The explosion was somewhere between 3 and 30 megatons. To give you a little bit of scope on that, a little bit of scale, the largest nuclear explosion ever detonated was 50 megatons. That weapon could have been 100 megatons, but they cut it in half for safety reasons. The largest American detonation was 15 megatons, and those measurements are thousands, if not tens of thousands of times larger than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The asteroid, or meteor, would have been probably 130 to 360 feet across, depending on how fast it was moving when it hit. Now, what we're talking about here is a reasonably small meteor, one small enough that there are plenty close enough that we just can't see that could do this. Now, we do track many, many near-Earth objects, but the reality is that we have to see them in order to track them, and then keep our eyes on them or check on them every once in a while. We don't have a radar that finds all these things for us. If we don't spot them, if some amateur astronomer doesn't spot them, they don't get spotted. They need to be seen to be noticed. And so you got this football field-sized chunk of rock floating out there that no one's spotted yet. It could very easily come skipping into our atmosphere. And even if it doesn't hit, like this one, we're pretty sure it didn't hit, even if it just blows up 6 miles over the surface, it could wipe out a major metropolitan area and kill millions of people. And that would be it. Just no radiation, no fallout, just boom, gone. And it'd be a pretty simple disaster, I suppose you could say, compared to others that we could name off. But it would be devastating to simply have a more or less circular area just wiped off the face of the earth in an instant, possibly with absolutely no forewarning, or so little forewarning that it's irrelevant. So, just my thought. We're sort of due for a nice little stellar body impact. So that would be fun. Anyways, I've been meaning to bring that one up for a while, actually. I've always thought that the Tunguska event was extremely interesting. There are only 3 potential casualties, 0 confirmed casualties from the event, because it was so remote. Obviously, a lot of trees died, a lot of animals probably died. I think that a few herd animals, like cattle, were known to have been killed, and a couple people definitely were thrown against some trees as they were herding some cattle nearby, but none of the accounts are really verifiable as to what caused it. Just an explosion in the sky. Anyways, we know that kind of thing happens, and we know that we haven't experienced it in our lifetimes. Obviously, we had that one over Russia. We get a couple of pretty interesting meteor flares every once in a while, but we have yet to have major loss of life due to one. Hopefully we never do, but it's hard to imagine that we can avoid it. But just thought I'd bring it up. Not much you can do about it. Never know when those kinds of things are going to fall. But it's always been one of my favorite things to bring up when people say, well, I'll never leave my house. It's my place of last resort. If I can't be there, then I'm ready to die. Well, what if you go to work one day and then, boom, your house is gone? Just your house and a couple square miles around it are just flattened into nothing, and you have to keep living. Do you have community? Do you have more than one place? Or are you just sunk into your one spot? Anyways, just my thought for today. Hope that piques some interest. There's definitely some good videos about it if you are inclined to go search Tunguska event. Very interesting. All right, hope you're all doing well out there. Everybody, stay safe.